Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Iron Man Model 9. I know it's not a good joke, but I can't help but read it when they put the thing on there. It's for me, it's not for you, but if you like it, that's good. Anyway, Model 9, not probably the most popular Iron Man suit, but it's one that I kinda like, and I was happy that they announced they were making a new figure of it. Is the figure any good? Well, I'm happy to tell you there are some things about it that are actually kind of a standout sort of thing, and then there are other things about it that you probably have already noticed that make it definitely less good. And we're going to talk about all of it. So, let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, so the first thing I want to do before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package as always. It is one of the better packages. The Retro Iron Man package is up there as top tier. If you like the on-card sort of thing, this one's perfect for you. It's a nice display, nice loadout, good accessories. The figure is there. Yeah, that's a good one. On the back, they're a little bit more basic. I actually like this more than the figure. This looks pretty darn good compared to the figure, but I mean, it's nothing special, so that's whatever. But it's a nice little drawing. I like the shape of the head. I don't know. Okay, that's enough. Good package. Let's move on. Now, before we get into the meat and taters, I do want to mention I have a new camera that I'm trying out, and so things may be a little bit different than normal. You'll notice a higher frame rate and probably a slightly different look. Hopefully it all is set the way we want it to be set, but I might need to do some tinkering. We will see. Alright, this guy is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. If you want to get one for yourself, there's a link in the description below taking you directly to the figure. I do recommend Big Bad Toy Store. They are my favorite place. People have mentioned, I'll just add this right now. People have mentioned that, hey, I've been bought out by Big Bad Toy Store. Guys, I've been working with Big Bad Toy Store for over 10 years. There's nothing new other than my efforts to do the YouTube thing a little bit harder. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things since I took a big break. And so I'm just trying to go full speed ahead to get this channel to where we want it to be. Okay, 17 centimeters to the top of the head. Let's say 6 5/8. Oh, and by the way, wouldn't it be better for a YouTuber to be, let's say, working with a retailer as opposed to working with the people making the toys? That's kind of my gist. I get almost no review samples, so I'd rather work with a retailer than the people that want me to give certain types of reviews. Okay, so here he is up against Captain America, Marvel Select, clearly a different scale. Same thing with McFarlane Batman. Different scale. And then with Darwin, why is he always doing weird stuff? I swear I don't even touch this guy outside of doing height measurements, and then he's always doing something funky. There you go, in scale. Alright, so let's talk about this guy. First impression, two things stand out to me. The first thing is I like the proportioning a bunch. I think they nailed it. I think for a basic, like, Marvel Legends style sculpt, this kind of kitty type sculpting that they tend to do, soft sculpt, it's pretty darn good. The other thing I noticed, which is the bad thing, is the coloring / plastic they chose. Not helpful. Not helpful at all. He definitely shouldn't be this almost pinkish, bright, pearly, semi-transparent red. Like, if you look at his chest, that is questionable at best. That red is not right. The yellow's passable, but I think the red and yellow they use make it look like a McDonald's toy rather than a collectible. And that's just a choice they made. I'll put a reference image on there for you so you can see, but it's not great. Now, I'll mention his knees do match, so that's a good thing. His elbows, mostly. So that's pretty good. Although, I'll note this. If you look at the elbow here, the inside part of the elbow is a different... Nope, this one's just worse. Okay, well, this elbow doesn't match as well. It's not super bad. It's probably more noticeable in person. This one matches a little bit better, so that's some plastic variation for you. So yeah, we've got the pearly, marbly plastic, which is definitely not my cup of tea at all, but otherwise it's decent. There's virtually no paint on it other than what is absolutely necessary. We have a little bit of line work going on here and on the hands, so there's something. The chest reactor is pretty nice. I like the way they did that. The face is super clean, no paint on it. I mean, I guess the black could be paint underneath the yellow, but it's a separate piece, so... Yeah, it's clean looking, it really needs some paint to make this look like a collectible rather than a kid's toy, so be aware of that, but it's a solid looking figure otherwise. If you don't care about the colors, this is one of their best ones. Oh, by the way, I do think this yellow is painted, but they've done a decent job making it match. It's not going to be perfect, but it doesn't stand out at all as being a problem, so that's okay. And then I think, so the yellow here is painted, I think, and then the red here. But yeah, they've done a good job matching it. So anyway, it's not bad if you can get past those the two main colors. I guess I can say primary colors. So I'll give it an 8 if you don't mind the colors, 7 if you do because the colors are whack. Alright, as far as accessories go, they've actually made me kind of happy here. We have the 2 fist hands that come on them in the package. We get 2 repulsor hands. We don't have a painted set, which kind of blows, but these at least do have the ability to, well, they're only in the shooting pose, so that's okay. But then we, in addition to our repulsor blasts, we get some new effects, which are repulsor blast smoke steam stuff, which is, I think that's kind of cool. I mean, I like that. It's a little bit of variation. I'd still like a set of hands with painted repulsors, but not a bad spread. I'll give them a 7. Nothing super noteworthy, but perfectly acceptable. Okay, now it's time for the articulation. I want to start off with this. It looks like the neck should rotate. However, I cannot, with all of my force, get it to move. And if you look all the way down in there, I don't know if you can see that, it almost looks like it's actually not supposed to, but it really should. So let me know, does yours rotate? Does your neck move? Mine does not. Alright, and it's in hard plastic, so heating it's not really going to help too much. Alright, so otherwise we have our hinged ball peg, our disc hinge. He can look up a little bit. He can look down a little bit. He can rotate around. There's a little bit of wiggle on that ball, not a ton, but some. Yeah, so it's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I can't wait for the day when the disc hinge is gone. Alright, for the shoulders, we got our full rotation. Shoulder pad moves with the shoulder. That's a nice thing. Doesn't look as great when you bring the arm out because of this right here, but there's not a whole lot they can do about that. You're going to get the arm just about to horizontal, and that is it. Bicep swivel is fine. A double jointed elbow is limited due to the gauntlet, so it's only a little bit better than 90 when you do this joint first. If you do the bottom joint first, is it any better? Nope. Probably looks a little bit better, but still pretty limited there. So be aware of that. Do we get any rotation? We do not. The wrists, of course, do have a swivel and a hinge. I'll take a quick minute. Well, no, you guys want me to do a video on pinned and not pinned joints? I can do that. I can do a video talking about that because I feel like some people are associating things with pinned joints or unpinned joints, pinless, that aren't actually true. That's just a Hasbro thing, not an actual engineering thing, but maybe I'll do a video about that if you guys want me to. Alright, ab crunch going back blows. He can't go back very far at all. Doesn't look terrible from the front, but it's pretty limited. Going forward, decent enough range. Not the ugliest joint we've ever seen, so for Marvel Legends, it's okay, but it's still completely underwhelming. Waist twist is fine. That's one of those things, it's like, for me, okay, pin joints, not pin joints, whatever you prefer, whatever, I don't care, but that to me is so much less important than like functional torso articulation and neck articulation that I would take better torso articulation over pinned or unpinned joints any day of the week. If they're going to spend budget on something, give me something that works in the torso that doesn't look ridiculous, or the neck. Alright, for the hips, decent enough range going forward, not the best, but almost horizontal, so that's okay. They don't really go back too far. Doing the splits it's definitely far enough, but it's more limited than it could be, that's for sure. They also are kind of floppy, kind of loose. By the way, somebody mentioned to me the other day that they've been using PVC for the hips for a long time on Marvel Legends. Sometimes, yes, but a lot of the time it's not. It's hard plastic. PVC down here, hard plastic up here, and you can tell when it's not a seam line. If it's an actual glue or sonic weld, that's hard plastic. But these are definitely hard plastic hips. Okay, so yeah, you get your thigh swivel. That's fine. Double jointed knee works pretty well, even given the big Mega Man boot. It's not the best thing, but it'll definitely be enough. Proportioning is okay, I would say. You do get a boot swivel in here, which is fine. Ankles, less range than I would like, but they are okay going back. Very nice going forward. Ankle rocker is there, but this part gets in the way, so it's pretty limited. And is it an actual ball hinge? I can't get it to rotate, so I don't think so. I think it's just a hinge. So yeah, they're not the best feet in the world, but they're okay. Alright, so articulation on this guy, definitely not the best, definitely not the worst. It's perfectly acceptable, I would say. 7 out of 10. Nothing special here. Okay, so now it's time for the final verdict. Is this a good release? Yeah, it's good enough. Is it a bad release? No, it's definitely not. The worst thing about this thing, other than all the dated articulation, is just the color scheme. The plastic they chose, then the paint they chose. It's definitely not ideal. if you can get past it, this one's a great one. It's great. Good enough, I would say. It's an 8 out of 10 if you get past those things. If you can't, and since this is a review, I can't, 7. It's only going to get a 7 out of 10 from me. The almost transparent marbly plastic and the color of it is just not right for this guy. So, unfortunate. Not a bad release, but it's certainly not as good as it could have been with no extra cost to Hasbro other than a little bit of effort, which really doesn't cost anything if you have to make the decision in the first place. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but that's it for me. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos every day but Wednesday and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.